Welcome to the next edition of our Thought Leadership series. Today we have with us Swati Singh, CHRO of Bandhan AMC. Swati has had a very long and diverse career across various industries. She started her career in bearings. She went on to banking. She then moved to the textile and retail industry. And today she is leading the mantle of HR at Bandhan AMC. Swati, welcome to our show.
Thanks, John. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you. So what led you to such a diverse career across so many industries and so many roles?
So, to be very honest, I don't think it was by design.
Okay.
Banking is something that happened when I was moving out of campus, just finished my MBA and banking placement happened. And I think somewhere I had an inherent passion for FMCG and retail, which after a few years in banking, I felt I wanted to explore. So that was a conscious choice. I moved there. And I think the other things were opportunities that probably came my way, and I was happy to explore and take risks because I enjoy trying new things.
Trying new things.
Yeah. And I think there were opportunities where I could contribute meaningfully to organizations. So that's what drew me to those various opportunities. And I was happy to learn and also contribute.
So there was a bit of serendipity in the processes.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
Even the move from HR to operations to HR was actually that. That's something I never visualized.
Okay. So they say life is what happens to you while you're planning for it.
Yeah. In my case, I would say it's very true.
We see a lot of people moving from various functions to the HR function. And a common driving force for a lot of people is maybe a passion for engaging and connecting with people, a passion for building capability, a passion for building talent. But a lot of that, typically that discovery process happens in the first maybe 5-6 years of people's careers, right? So I've seen a lot of people moving from hardcore engineering to the human resource function.
Correct.
In your case, that shift happened after about 17 years.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what led to that kind of a change?
I guess I'm a slow mover. But, no, I think after about 15 years of working, I realized that I enjoyed working with people. However, I still never in my wildest dreams saw it as a career in HR. So instead, I did the next best thing. I actually signed up to become a life and leadership coach. And I think the coaching journey was a sort of revelation to me on how fulfilling it can feel to work with people and how you can actually meaningfully make an impact. Those were the first seeds, but I was still, like I said, not thinking about a career in HR. The HR opportunity just came along my way. Now, apart from working with people, I think I'm very passionate about two things in my work. So one is, am I able to contribute meaningfully and a sustainable way to the organization? Second, I love sort of putting structured processes and connecting the dots across various things in business to make sense of the overall picture with strong execution. And I think when I thought about the opportunity, HR opportunity, when it came along my way, for me, it checked all three boxes. So I decided to take the plunge. My initial thought was, let me try it for a year or two. If it doesn't work out, I can always go back. But I think a year or two into HR, I realized this is what I really love. So maybe I want to move forward with it.
So it was maybe a little bit of a late realization.
Yes.
So normally when we look at the business from any business leader's perspective, the functions that contribute most directly are typically in sales or operations.
Right.
Whereas when you come to HR, you're enabling these functions. So any impact on the business is more secondary or tertiary impact. So how do you view this from your perspective? Ability to create the impact, ability to attribute impact to anything that you are driving.
Again, I think there are two nuances to it. The one is what industry you're working in. And the second is how personally you feel or view that function. Because many times, honestly, I've worked for a long time in customer service and operations. And even those functions people see as something, as sales being the star, and these functions can sit on the side. But I think in each function, the way they are inherently designed, if you think right about it, there is an opportunity to contribute in a big way and meaningfully make an impact. In any industry, if operations failed, it wouldn't make sense, right? Similarly, if I'm today working in the mutual fund industry, our biggest assets are our people. There are no physical assets per se.
True.
Right? So if people are our biggest assets, then HR can't be a function on the sidelines. I think it's contributing in an equal way. Yes, the headlines will be the AUM and the gross sales and the net sales or the performance indicators. But there are people behind each of these. And if the people equations work right, if we have the right talent, if we are developed in the right way, only then we can be successful.
Yeah. So I think the two big pillars are people and trust in your industry.
Exactly.
So how have you seen the whole talent landscape shifting? I think I would say there's a pre-COVID era.
Right.
There was the COVID era.
Correct.
Now that we are well past the COVID era now.
Yes.
And we are heading into maybe the AI era.
Yes.
So there are 4 major transitions in the last maybe decade or so.
Correct.
So what are the shifts that you're seeing in the talent space?
Right. So, personally, I think I would start by what has not shifted. I think the opportunity for people to make a difference and contribute meaningfully, that has not changed. It's the how that keeps shifting. And it's not just now. If I look at 25 years of my career, it's been shifting every few years, and it's also shifted with every industry that I worked in or every function that I worked in. So that keeps shifting. Let's say pre-COVID, there was a world order or a way of doing things that all of us assumed was the best way or probably the only way of doing things. If you had to do a meeting, you had to be facing each other. If you were working, you had to be in the office, right? And COVID forced us to rethink.
True.
So we discovered a whole new way of working, and our minds opened up. There are also some fads that get created and people chase after them, and sometime a balance evolves.
True.
As to what holds substance, what is good from the old order, what is good from the new order, and it can also work differently for different organizations and industries. So I think that's what has evolved. With AI coming in, I think, of course, what has changed is that the pace of change is maybe much faster than what you would see in earlier years. But again, a new way of doing things seems to be emerging. I'll also add to that, there's a lot of conversation around Gen Z joining the workforce.
True.
And coming in with a whole new mindset. But I also remember when we joined the workforce, we would hear seniors say, your generation is very different from ours. So I guess...
You were the Gen Z then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think all generations probably go through that cycle. And with AI, I think it's already happened some bit with the internet and everything, that the dependence on knowledge is going down, and ability of maybe strategic thinking, ability to connect with people, ability to influence, ability to create new things, that has been becoming more important. With AI coming in, some new skill sets may emerge, I feel, and some of the existing skill sets will still be relevant. For example, human connections can't go away, even with AI emerging. In fact, they may become more valuable.
More important.
Yeah. Sometimes with AI, I also worry that all of us, AI today is relying on a lot of content and everything that has already been created in the world.
True.
But because AI comes in, will we just keep churning that content? Or those new things that were created? Will we stop creating new things? I don't think that.
You're talking about fundamentally new innovation.
Yeah, fundamentally new innovation. So that, I think, will become more and more important. And those who can do that probably will thrive more.
True. So do you see organizations in the future having more people or less people? Is it that there will still be a lot of large organizations? Or do you see a future where you have smaller, more nimble organizations, but many more?
At least when I look at the past, because honestly, I can't predict the future. Even in the past, all sorts of organizations have existed.
True.
And I think that may be true in the future, because it will depend on what is the universe you are like, looking to service and what is the nature of business you are in. So large and big both may exist. Now, compared to their current size, there may be a scope to become smaller or nimbler. And I'm saying maybe here, but also what will really shift is what is the nature of work that people are doing. I think that will be a bigger shift. And size could emerge from there.
So where do you see, from a leadership level, where do you see organizations looking at AI to take critical decisions, and where do you see the role of the human leader in the future?
So one is, I think AI, of course, it's really changing and developing at a fast pace, but it's still evolving, and there's a lot of chatter around it. But I wouldn't want to get attached to, as I said, fads. Like even during COVID, some fads emerged.
Yeah.
And there was one point of time where people believed offices will cease to exist.
Yeah.
And now today's reality is that real estate office prices are through the roof.
True.
So I think with AI, again, the way leaders will look at it is it is another tool.
Yeah.
And which can help us to definitely process things faster, maybe process knowledge faster. Because no tool has been able to process knowledge at the speed at which AI is doing.
True.
And connecting the dots can be a very helpful tool because you can really pick up things from different sources and process it quickly together. No tool has ever been able to do it at that speed. I think, like I mentioned earlier, people will probably play a large role in the human connection and maybe in fundamental innovation, partially in communication and connections. Those are areas where I see that will happen, and leaders will have to have a lot more empathy and maybe strategic thinking, fundamentally thinking new things, setting the direction. Those things leaders will probably continue to do. Is what I feel.
Okay, so in this context, many organizations today still have Gen X.
Right.
You have Gen Y, which is now increasingly moving from maybe mid-management to senior management.
Yes.
And getting into key CHRO roles.
Correct.
And then we have Gen Z that's coming.
Yes.
And with every year, more Gen Z is going to come in, and there'll be less of Gen X.
Yes.
Right. So in the current era, you see organization culture getting impacted.
The way I look at it is that multi-generational workforces have been a reality across generations. It's not something that is new today.
I think this is the first, maybe first or second year in which both the parent and the child are there on LinkedIn. Until now, only one generation used to be there.
Yes, because LinkedIn is not that old.
Now parents tag children on LinkedIn and
yes, absolutely. Correct. That is true. Yes, that is true. So with some of the new tools, both parents and children being there is a reality. It's true for me as well, that my son is on LinkedIn and I'm on LinkedIn. So that is there. I think organization culture also draws from the social culture of the times and always evolves with that. It is also strongly linked to the aspirations of each generation and the ways and methods of working by that generation. So maybe some practices from Gen X are still continuing into the workplace, and some of them may be now sort of getting the work practices maybe moving out. Gen Y is, of course, moving into the major leadership roles. So they may be setting the current context. As Gen Z comes in, I think in terms of setting the culture, we must hold on to things that are still good. Again, I'm very strongly against chasing fads.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So just because Gen Z is coming in, it doesn't mean you throw everything you knew outside the window and start doing something new from tomorrow. But at the same time, I hear a lot of conversations around Gen Z is not the same as us, and it's almost as if they have issues. But they've been brought up in a very different way, and honestly, they've been brought up by us.
Yeah.
So listening more to them and saying, how can we help them blend? How can we also meet their aspirations? I think that is what should help evolve the culture of the future. One of the things that I clearly see will change is the way hierarchies moved. And Gen Z is clearly not brought up with a hierarchical mindset. From childhood, we've not treated them like that. In our generation, we've heard a lot of people saying parents are friends, which didn't happen in the previous generations. So if parents are friends, once they get into the workforce, they can't suddenly start giving things hierarchy.
Very differently. Yeah.
Right? So I think we need to make those shifts in organization structures, in the way we treat people, in the way we interact, in the way we listen.
Mm-hmm.
Second is their dependence on knowledge from the previous generations is much lesser because they are already very informed.
Mm-hmm.
They're very confident in their skin.
Mm.
I also feel that there is a lot more social pressure on them than the previous generation. So they are also more vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
So if we listen more and include them more
Mm.
and help them feel that they are contributing and impacting, a new positive culture can get shaped.
Yeah. No, in fact, I was just talking to my wife. Our parents did not really give us too much context about the corporate world.
Yeah,
They were probably in the convent
correct.
or in some other world.
Yes.
Next generation or the Gen Y generation,
Mm.
they figured out their entire journey themselves. And the parents were literally in a different world,
Correct.
right? Which is maybe not the case
Mm.
in this transition.
Yes.
Do you see a role for not just organization leader, but also the parents back home in kind of stewarding that shift? And I'll tell you where I'm coming from, right? Like I said, for good or bad, people in maybe the Gen Y, the millennials, like I said, any parents couldn't give much input on it. So they worked in very, very different organizations, workforces, different culture.
Yes.
So Gen Y was left on its own. You figure out and parent have zero input.
Correct.
Right. Whereas now, I think millennials are very much having that view that this is how things will happen. They've also seen a lot of these transitions.
Yes.
The difference between trends and fads.
Yes.
Difference between what comes as a hype cycle and dies out.
Right.
And then what stays and becomes enduring.
Yeah.
Right. So from that perspective, I think and today, like you said, people are in a world where before I ask someone more experienced, I can always go to A and ask the question. In fact, for a lot of things, you see that one of the big difference between Gen X, Gen Y, and Gen Z is how much the reliance on AI is.
Yes.
Right? Gen X will still not go to AI by default. Millennials would be somewhere in between. They may go to AI for some perspective.
Correct.
Whereas Gen Z, the default, you ask them a question, the first thing is, before they come back with an answer, they're going to come back with very good answers. Right? But the first port of call is ChatGPT.
Yes.
Right? Before they come back with any answer.
Yes.
And the challenge over here is ChatGPT is going to give you 10 answers. Right? It's like a very bright child which has a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of knowledge. It's going to give you a lot of things.
Yes.
And then it's going to ask you another 3 questions saying, which of these 3 questions would you want to know more?
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Whereas maybe people in Gen X or Gen Y are maybe expecting more. When they're asking something, they're expecting more contextual, relevant.
Definite answers.
Yeah. More specific answers. And many times as leaders, they expect that, okay, we have a worldview, we have a context, and things have to fit into that.
Yeah.
Right? And when maybe Gen Z comes back with 10 different answers, all so diverse, right? Then it becomes a bit of a, like a mismatch.
Yes.
Right? So this is some of the context in which I was saying that, even parents have a role today for generations to come in. It kind of giving context because many parents are already working in many of these organizations. They are already in senior roles.
Yes.
And they've gone through a lot of these ups and downs.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is.
So I'm also a mother of a son who's just started working 6 months back. And so I think I'm going to play it out both from my CHRO role and my role as a mother. Now, I think like anything, parents being already in a similar workforce and having a head start over their children and being able to share perspectives comes with its own advantages and disadvantages. Advantage being that, of course, you can prepare your child better. You can guide them on what kind of opportunities might work for them, what kind of careers they could pursue. So you are a more well-informed parent and you have the ability to guide your child better. However, one of the trends that I've also noticed in my role as a mother over the years is that because parents have so much information and access to information and all generations of parents, I think, had their children's best interests at heart. But now parents are maybe parenting too closely sometimes, right? So it should not happen that at school level, at college level, even when they get into the workforce, you're controlling their life so much and giving them so much guidance and making so many decisions for them that maybe 10 years into their career, when they are moving into smaller leadership roles, they're unable to make decisions for themselves. And they have never made any mistakes. So if they end up making a mistake, they can't absorb it. So I would shy away from doing that. I would say that we should use our position to maybe share perspectives. But also, for example, I've worked in a bank. My son is currently working with another bank, but in a very different role. And in the last 25 years, the banking industry has shifted a lot. Right? My husband also today works in a bank, but his position and role is very different from what my son is doing. So if we try to impose our perspectives on him, we may actually hinder his growth more than aiding him. So we can give him some perspectives, we can give him some help, but that freedom which our generation enjoyed of discovering on our own, making our own mistakes, making our own decisions, we should also let our children have it. And even in the organization context, have the younger workforce that is coming in, have that. Because I think it will shape them as individuals. So, for example, I would never want that from one of our employees, their parent is representing an issue or a problem or their case to us as an organization. I would want the employee to speak for themselves. Because if they are unable to represent themselves, how will they represent the organization? So that's
your perspective. Great. Okay, so I think we covered a very broad range of topics.
Right.
Rapid fire.
Okay. Let's see.
So short questions, short answers.
Okay.
All right. So hire for attitude or skill?
Attitude. Always.
Always.
Yes.
Does that mean skill is not important?
Skill is not to be ignored, but if it is a choice of skill, yes. Attitude, no. I will not hire. Attitude, yes. Skill limited. I think skills can be learned.
Okay.
Zero skill, of course, is tough.
Okay. So if you gave a TED talk tomorrow on the future of talent, what would?
Happiness at work.
Happiness at work.
Yes. Because I think I've always been very passionate about my career as well as my family and some of my personal interests. And if we see work as a burden, it is a very heavy burden to carry. It occupies a large part of our time and life. So I would say happiness at work is very important. Yes.
Yeah, I think Bandhan AMC does a lot of things to kind of ensure that kind of a feeling as well.
Yes, we do that as an organization, but I also feel very strongly that each person should own their own happiness.
Workforce of 2030 in one word.
Confident. And very aware.
Very aware.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. One question that managers should ask their teams more.
What can I do more to help you succeed?
Okay. One capability that will define the next generation of leaders.
Empathy and ability to bring human connections.
Great. So thank you so much. I think it was a very, very interesting and freewheeling conversation with you.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much, John.
Thank you. And for all our listeners out there, I think we had a very enjoyable session with Swati. Stay tuned for the next episode of this leadership series. Thank you.
Thank you.